Have you ever wondered what secrets lurk beneath the surface of those pristine resort swimming pools? Today, I'm going to tell you the extraordinary tale of Sam, a simple pool cleaner whose life transformed completely when he discovered he possessed a rare gift, the ability to whisper to water. What if I told you that the most mundane job in the world could lead to international travel, recognition, and a profound understanding of human nature? This isn't just another story. It's a journey that will change how you see the ordinary workers who make your vacation paradise possible. Before we dive into this captivating tale, take 1 second to hit that subscribe button and join our story-driven English community. Each week, we bring you fascinating stories like this one, carefully crafted with clear vocabulary and natural expressions to help you improve your English while being thoroughly entertained. Hit subscribe now so you don't miss our next adventure. I promise you, this storytelling approach will transform your English learning journey. Now, imagine arriving at a luxury resort on your first day as a pool cleaner, with no idea that the sparkling waters you're about to tend will lead you not just around the world, but to a deeper understanding of yourself. Let me take you to Sunshine Bay Resort, where our story begins. The Pool Whisperer. It was a bright Monday morning when I arrived at the Sunshine Bay Resort for my first day as a pool cleaner. The resort was nestled between lush green hills and a sparkling blue ocean. I had never worked at such a fancy place before. My name is Sam, and this is the story of how cleaning pools changed my life in ways I never expected. I parked my old bicycle at the staff entrance and straightened my new uniform, a light blue shirt with the resort logo and beige shorts. My boss, Mr. Thompson, was waiting for me at the main pool area. He was a tall man with a permanent sunburn and a serious expression. "Good morning, Sam," he said, looking at his watch. "Right on time. I like that." "Good morning, sir," I replied, trying to hide my nervousness. "Let me show you around," he said. "We have 6 pools in total. The main pool here, 2 smaller pools by the beach villas, 1 indoor pool at the spa, a children's pool with slides, and the VIP infinity pool on the hilltop." I nodded, already feeling overwhelmed. 6 pools seemed like a lot for one person to clean. "Don't worry," Mr. Thompson said, noticing my expression. "You'll get used to it. Most guests don't wake up early, so you have until 8 a.m. to finish the main pool. Then you can move on to the others." He handed me a long pole with a net, brushes of different sizes, a testing kit for the water, and a tablet. "Use this tablet to record the chemical levels of each pool. Our system will tell you how much chlorine and other chemicals to add. Any questions?" I had about 100 questions, but I just shook my head. "I think I'll figure it out as I go." "Good attitude," he said with an approving nod. "One more thing, be invisible. Guests don't like to see the cleaning process. They just want to enjoy clean pools." With that advice, he left me alone with my new tools and a massive pool that needed cleaning before the guests woke up. I started by skimming the surface with the net, collecting leaves, insects, and other debris that had fallen overnight. It was peaceful work in the early morning light. The only sounds were the gentle lapping of the pool water and distant waves from the ocean. As I worked, I noticed how the water caught the morning light, creating dancing patterns on the pool floor. There was something almost magical about being alone with a clean, still pool at dawn. I had never thought pool cleaning could be so calming. By 7:30 a.m., I had finished cleaning the main pool and had recorded all the chemical levels as instructed. I felt proud of myself. The water was crystal clear, reflecting the palm trees and the blue sky above. I moved on to the children's pool with its colorful slides and shallow areas. This pool had more challenges: small toys left behind, sunscreen residue creating a film on the surface, and sand from little feet. But I approached it with the same care and attention. As I was finishing up, a little girl with curly hair and a pink swimsuit approached the edge of the pool. "Are you the pool fairy?" she asked, her eyes wide with wonder. I laughed. "Pool fairy? No, I'm just the pool cleaner." "But you make the water clean and sparkly," she insisted. "That's magic." Her mother called her from a nearby lounge chair, and she ran off with a wave. Her words made me smile. A pool fairy. That was a nice way to think about my job. By lunchtime, I had cleaned 4 of the 6 pools. My arms were tired, and my back ached, but I felt satisfied with my work. I sat on a bench in the staff area to eat my sandwich. Another staff member, a young woman in a restaurant uniform, sat down beside me. "You're new," she said. "I'm Maria, from the resort restaurant." "I'm Sam, the new pool cleaner," I replied. "Ah, so you're the one who took old Pete's job after he retired," she said, unwrapping her lunch. "He was here for 20 years. Said he knew every crack in every pool. 20 years. I couldn't imagine doing this job for that long." "Oh yes," Maria nodded. "Pete said pool cleaning is like meditation, and he had the best stories about guests. You wouldn't believe the things people lose in pools." I was curious now. "Like what?" "Wedding rings, dentures, waterproof cameras." Once, he even found a wallet with $1,000 inside. The guest was so happy he got it back that he gave Pete a big tip. She smiled at the memory. Pete always said the pools know everyone's secrets. After lunch, I tackled the indoor spa pool. The humid, warm air made me sweat as I worked. This pool had a different feeling, more intimate and quiet. Soft music played in the background, and the scent of essential oils filled the air. As I was testing the water, a woman in a resort uniform approached me. She had a manager badge that read, "Catherine Lewis, Spa Director." "You must be Sam," she said with a warm smile. "How are you finding your first day?" "It's good," I replied. "Different pools have different personalities." She looked surprised, then pleased. "That's exactly right. Not many people understand that. Each pool serves a different purpose and attracts different guests. This spa pool, for instance, is for relaxation and healing. We keep it at precisely 95 degrees, and the mineral content is higher than in other pools." I nodded, appreciating her enthusiasm. I noticed the water feels different. Softer somehow. "Yes." Her eyes lit up. "You have good instincts. This job isn't just about cleaning, you know. It's about maintaining environments where people can relax, play, or exercise. Their experiences depend on your work." Her words gave me a new perspective on my job. I wasn't just cleaning water. I was maintaining spaces for human experiences. The last pools of the day were the 2 beach villas pools and the VIP infinity pool on the hilltop. The beach pools were easy, small and not heavily used. But the infinity pool was a different story. I had to drive a small golf cart up a winding path to reach it. When I got there, I gasped. The pool seemed to merge with the ocean on the horizon, creating an illusion of endless water. The view was spectacular. As I began cleaning, a man in expensive-looking swim shorts watched me from a lounge chair. He had a book in his hand but wasn't reading it. "Interesting job you have," he commented after a while. I nodded politely, remembering Mr. Thompson's advice about being invisible. "No, really," he insisted. "I'm curious. What's the strangest thing you've ever found in a pool?" "It's my first day, sir," I admitted. "So far, just leaves and a few bugs." "First day." He sat up, suddenly interested. "What did you do before this?" "I was a literature student," I said, surprising myself by sharing this. "But I needed a break and some money, so here I am." "Literature to pool cleaning," he mused. "That's quite a change." I shrugged, continuing my work. Water has always fascinated writers. Think about Narcissus staring at his reflection, or the river symbolizing time's passage. Pools are just contained versions of those ancient symbols. He looked at me with new respect. "I never thought of it that way. I'm Alex, by the way. I'm a professor at the university down the coast. Here on sabbatical to finish my book." "Nice to meet you, Alex. I'm Sam." We talked as I finished cleaning the pool. He was writing a book about how modern luxury relates to ancient concepts of leisure. The infinity pool, he explained, was a perfect example, a modern recreation of ancient Roman bath experiences, designed to make people feel both pampered and powerful. By the time I finished, the sun was setting, painting the sky and water in shades of orange and pink. Alex thanked me for the conversation and said he looked forward to seeing me the next day. As I drove the golf cart back down to return my equipment, I reflected on my first day. It had been physically demanding but surprisingly interesting. I had met a curious child, learned about old Pete's legacy, gained insight from the spa director, and had an unexpected philosophical discussion with a professor. Maybe being a pool cleaner at Sunshine Bay Resort would be more interesting than I had anticipated. The next morning, I arrived early again, eager to start my routine. As I approached the main pool, I noticed something unusual in the water, something large and dark at the bottom. I quickly realized it was a camera, an expensive underwater camera that someone must have dropped the previous evening. I fished it out and dried it with a towel. It looked undamaged, protected by its waterproof case. I brought it to the lost and found at the reception desk. "Good find, Sam," said the receptionist, a friendly woman named Diane. "This belongs to Mr. Nakamura in Villa 12. He's a professional photographer here to shoot the resort for a travel magazine. He reported it missing last night and was quite upset." Later that morning, as I was cleaning the children's pool, a Japanese man approached me. He bowed slightly and introduced himself as Hiroshi Nakamura. "Thank you for finding my camera," he said gratefully. "Those photos are very important for my work." "Just doing my job, sir," I replied with a smile. No, he insisted. "You did more than your job. You were careful with the equipment. The receptionist told me how you dried it properly before bringing it in." He handed me his business card. "I would like to take your photo for my article about the resort staff who make guests' experiences special. Would that be okay?" I was surprised by the request but agreed. Mr. Nakamura asked me to continue working while he took candid shots. "Natural is best," he explained. "Show me how you make this water so perfect." I felt self-conscious at first but soon forgot about the camera as I focused on my work. Mr. Nakamura occasionally asked questions about the pools and my cleaning process, seeming genuinely interested in the technical details. "Water is alive," he said as he adjusted his lens. "It changes with the light, with the environment. A good pool keeper understands this, just as a good photographer does." His words reminded me of what Catherine from the spa had said about each pool having a different personality. Perhaps there was something to this idea of water being alive in some way. Days turned into weeks, and I settled into a comfortable routine at Sunshine Bay Resort. I became familiar with each pool's quirks and needs. The main pool collected the most leaves because of the surrounding palm trees. The children's pool required the most attention to chemical balance due to heavy use. The spa pool needed gentle handling to preserve its mineral content. I also began to recognize regular guests and their habits. Mrs. Hernandez, an elderly woman who swam exactly 20 laps in the main pool every morning at 8:30. A family with twin boys who always played in the children's pool until lunchtime. Mr. Chen, who read his newspaper while soaking in the spa pool for precisely 1 hour each afternoon. And of course, Alex the professor, who had made the infinity pool his outdoor office. He always had books and papers spread out on a table near the water, and we often chatted during my cleaning time. One morning, about a month into my job, Mr. Thompson called me into his office. I worried that I had done something wrong, but his expression was neutral as I sat down. "Sam," he began, "I've been receiving positive feedback about your work." I relaxed a little. "Thank you, sir." Mr. Nakamura's article came out in Travel Lux magazine, and he featured you quite prominently. He slid a glossy magazine across the desk. I was shocked to see myself on the page, focused on cleaning the infinity pool with the sunset in the background. The photo captured the water's surface reflecting the colorful sky, my figure silhouetted against it. The caption read, "The Unseen Artists of Luxury. Sam, the pool whisperer of Sunshine Bay Resort, creates the perfect canvas for memories." Pool whisperer. I laughed, embarrassed. "It's good publicity," Mr. Thompson said, "and accurate from what I've observed. You seem to have a natural feel for the work." He explained that guest satisfaction with the pools had increased since I started. Several guests had specifically mentioned the cleanliness and water quality in their reviews. "We'd like to offer you a small raise," he concluded, "and perhaps expand your responsibilities. Would you be interested in training as a pool maintenance specialist? It would mean learning more technical skills, but also a better salary. I accepted the offer immediately. The job I had taken as a temporary measure was turning into something more meaningful. There was something satisfying about transforming chaotic, leaf-strewn water into pristine, inviting pools each day. I enjoyed the immediate results of my work and the knowledge that I was contributing to people's happiness, even if they didn't notice me. The training began the following week. I learned about filtration systems, pump mechanics, and advanced water chemistry. The resort's maintenance chief, a gruff but knowledgeable man named Ron, became my mentor. "Pools are just like people," Ron told me as we fixed a filter together. "They can get sick if you don't pay attention to the signs. Cloudy water, unusual smell, algae growth. These are all symptoms telling you something's wrong." I found myself fascinated by the technical aspects of pool maintenance. There was a science to it that appealed to my curious mind. Each problem was like a puzzle to solve, each solution satisfying when it worked. One evening, as I was finishing my rounds at the infinity pool, Alex waved me over. He had a stack of printed pages beside him. His manuscript. "I finished it," he said proudly. "And I have you to thank, in part." Me. I was confused. What did I do? Our conversations about water and symbolism helped me develop a key chapter, he explained, about how modern luxury often involves controlled versions of natural elements. The wild ocean tamed into an infinity pool, for instance. He handed me a page from his manuscript. To my surprise, I found myself quoted. As pool cleaner Sam insightfully noted, pools are just contained versions of ancient water symbols, reflecting both Narcissus's mirror and the river of time. "You remembered that?" I asked, amazed that my casual comment had made such an impression. "It was the perfect articulation of what I was trying to explain," Alex said. "I've acknowledged you in the book's preface as well. I hope you don't mind." I was touched by this unexpected recognition. "Not at all. I'm honored." "You know," Alex said thoughtfully, "you have a philosophical mind. Have you considered returning to your studies?" The question caught me off guard. I had taken this job as a temporary break from academia, intending to save money and return to my literature studies eventually. But somewhere along the way, I had become engrossed in my work with the pools. "I've actually been enjoying this more than I expected," I admitted. "There's something peaceful about working with water, seeing immediate results from my efforts. And I'm learning new skills now." Alex nodded. "Not all education happens in classrooms. Sometimes the most valuable lessons come from unexpected places." He gestured toward the infinity pool, now glowing with underwater lights as evening descended. "Like this pool." The next few months brought new challenges and experiences. Hurricane season arrived, and we had to prepare all the pools for potential storms. This meant lowering water levels, securing equipment, and being ready to implement emergency procedures. When Hurricane Elena threatened the coast, most guests evacuated, but the staff remained to protect the property. I spent hours helping board up windows and store outdoor furniture. The storm passed just offshore, sparing us the worst but leaving considerable debris in the pools. The cleanup effort was massive. All 6 pools had to be drained, cleaned, and refilled. It was exhausting work, but there was camaraderie among the staff as we all pulled together. Maria from the restaurant helped me skim leaves from the main pool. Ron showed me how to check the pump systems for storm damage. Even Mr. Thompson rolled up his sleeves and assisted with the heavy lifting. During this busy time, I received an unexpected visitor at the main pool early one morning. It was Mrs. Hernandez, the elderly regular swimmer, who had returned immediately after the resort reopened. "Sam," she called as I was checking the water chemistry. "I wanted to thank you for getting the pool ready so quickly." "Just doing my job, Mrs. Hernandez," I replied with a smile. "No, it's more than that." She sat on the edge of the pool, her feet dangling in the water. "Do you know why I swim every day?" I shook my head. "Doctor's orders initially," she explained. "After my husband died 5 years ago, I fell into a deep depression. My doctor suggested swimming for physical and mental health. I chose this resort because it's where Carlos and I spent our honeymoon 50 years ago." She gazed across the water. "These morning swims saved me, Sam. The routine, the water's embrace, the peaceful time to remember Carlos. It became my therapy. That's why I was so anxious to return after the hurricane. This pool is my medicine." I was moved by her story. I had no idea. "Most people don't think about the importance of places like this," she said. "But you seem to understand. I've watched how carefully you tend to these pools. It's not just a job for you, is it?" "No," I admitted. "Not anymore." She nodded approvingly. "Good. Because what you do matters to people like me." As the seasons changed, so did the resort. The busy summer months gave way to a quieter autumn. Many of the staff I had befriended moved on to other jobs or returned to their studies. Maria went back to culinary school. Alex finished his sabbatical and returned to his university, leaving me a signed copy of his completed book. I stayed on, now fully certified as a pool maintenance specialist. My responsibilities had grown to include training new pool cleaners and assisting with the overall water management systems of the resort. One day in late autumn, Mr. Thompson called me into his office again. This time, he wasn't alone. A woman in a business suit sat beside him. "Sam, this is Ms. Chen from Luxury Resorts International," he introduced us. "Our parent company." Ms. Chen smiled and shook my hand. "I've heard good things about you, Sam. Mr. Thompson tells me you've revolutionized the pool maintenance here." I glanced at Mr. Thompson, surprised by such praise. "Don't look so shocked," he said with a rare smile. "The guest satisfaction scores for our pools are the highest they've ever been. And you've reduced our chemical usage by 15% while improving water quality." "That's impressive." Ms. Chen nodded. "We're expanding our staff training program across all our properties. We need someone to develop a pool maintenance curriculum and conduct workshops at our resorts worldwide. Would you be interested in such a position?" The offer was unexpected and exciting. Travel, teaching, better pay. It was a significant step up from my current role. Yet I hesitated. Could I still work hands-on with pools sometimes? I asked. I enjoy the practical side of the job. Absolutely, Ms. Chen assured me. We want our trainers to stay connected to the practical aspects. You would split your time between teaching and doing. I accepted the position, and within weeks, I was developing training materials based on my experiences and the technical knowledge I had gained. My first workshop was scheduled at a sister resort in Hawaii, followed by locations in Thailand, Spain, and the Maldives. Before leaving Sunshine Bay, I trained my replacement, a young woman named Jessie who had a background in marine biology. She quickly grasped the technical aspects, but was less confident about the intuitive side of the job. How do you know exactly how much chlorine to add without checking the readings 3 times? She asked me one day. I tried to explain the subtle cues I had learned to recognize. The particular shade of blue that indicated perfect balance, the way the water moved when its chemistry was optimal, the absence of certain smells. It comes with experience, I assured her. You'll develop your own feel for it. On my last day at Sunshine Bay, I made a final round of all 6 pools, saying goodbye to each in my own way. At the main pool, Mrs. Hernandez was doing her morning swim. She waved when she saw me. Off to bigger pools? She asked with a knowing smile. Different pools, I corrected her. Not necessarily bigger. You'll do wonderfully, she said confidently. You have the gift. The gift. For understanding water, she explained. Not everyone has it. My Carlos did. He was a sailor for 30 years. He always said some people just know how to read water, like others read books. At the children's pool, the little girl who had once called me the pool fairy was building a sandcastle nearby. She was taller now, her curly hair longer. Are you still making the water sparkle? She asked when she spotted me. Every day, I replied. But soon I'll be teaching other people how to make water sparkle in different places. She considered this seriously. Will they be good at it? I hope so, I said. I'll teach them all my special tricks. The infinity pool was my last stop. It was empty of guests in the early morning light. I stood at its edge, looking out at the horizon where the pool water seemed to merge with the ocean beyond. It was still magical, even after seeing it every day for months. I thought about how much my life had changed since that first day as a pool cleaner. What had started as a temporary job had become a calling and now a career that would take me around the world. I had found meaning in an occupation I once considered merely transitional. The water reflected my face, reminding me of the myth of Narcissus that I had mentioned to Alex on that first day. But unlike Narcissus, I wasn't trapped by my reflection. The water had shown me not just who I was, but who I could become. As I performed my final water test at Sunshine Bay Resort, I realized that I had indeed become something of a pool whisperer, as Mr. Nakamura's article had dubbed me. I had learned to listen to what the water was telling me and respond accordingly. In return, the water had taught me patience, precision, and the satisfaction of creating perfect moments for others to enjoy. My journey had come full circle. I had arrived as someone taking a break from studying literature, only to discover a different kind of poetry in the dance of water and light, in the chemistry of clear pools, and in the stories of people whose lives intersected with these azure rectangles of tranquility. As I packed up my testing kit one last time, I smiled at the thought of all the pools waiting for me around the world, each with its own personality and stories to tell. I was ready to listen. Key vocabulary, repeated throughout. Resort, a place where people go on vacation. Pool cleaner, a person whose job is to keep swimming pools clean. Uniform, special clothes worn by people doing a particular job. Skimming, removing objects floating on the surface of water. Debris, scattered pieces of waste or remains. Chemical levels, the amount of chemicals in the pool water. Chlorine, a chemical used to keep pool water clean. Maintenance, the work of keeping something in proper condition. Infinity pool, a swimming pool with an edge that makes it look like it extends to the horizon. Filter, a device that removes unwanted material from liquids. Pump, a machine that moves water through the pool system. Algae, simple plants that can grow in water and cause pools to turn green. Water chemistry, the study of chemicals and substances in water. Filtration system, equipment that cleans water by removing impurities. Luxury, great comfort and expensive living conditions or surroundings. Routine, a regular way of doing things in a particular order. Symbolism, the use of symbols to represent ideas or qualities. Tranquility, the quality of being peaceful and calm. Hurricane, a large, powerful storm with strong winds and heavy rain. Evacuation, leaving a place because it is not safe. Thank you for swimming through The Pool Whisperer with us today. If this story cleaned up your English skills and made your vocabulary sparkle like a perfectly maintained resort pool, why not dive into the like button? Did you connect with Sam's journey from literature student to world-traveling pool expert? Share this story with a friend who's on their own unexpected path of discovery. Sometimes our greatest talents surface in the most surprising places. We'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Which character in the story did you relate to most? Was it Sam the thoughtful pool cleaner, Alex the observant professor, or perhaps Mrs. Hernandez finding healing in her morning swim routine? Or tell us about a job that taught you more than you expected. And if you're ready to immerse yourself in more stories that make learning English feel like a relaxing dip in a luxury infinity pool, subscribe to Story Driven English, where we bring language learning to life, one tale at a time. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss our weekly story uploads, each one carefully crafted to help your English skills flow naturally. Remember, just like Sam discovered, sometimes the most beautiful transformations happen when we dive into new experiences with an open mind. Until our next storytelling adventure, keep learning and growing with Story-Driven English.